Heaven Hill. They don't always go grain to glass, but with this one, they definitely do. And we're going to check it out.
Let's do it.
With you on this episode of Savor the Burn.
Pow.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Savor the Burn podcast. My name is Jonathan. Over here from the barrels to me is Mr. W2. How do you do?
Doing pretty good. I'm excited to get into these.
Yeah, me too. And before we do that, make sure that you're following along on all things social, Facebook, TikTok, X, Twitter, Instagram.
Subscribe, bell notification.
Right there on YouTube.
All the things.
All the things. And if you're listening audio only on any streaming podcast app of choice, well, thank you. Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
Let us know where you're listening, where you're watching. Leave us a comment or send us an email, info, Jonathan or W2 at savortheburn.com. So today we have Heaven Hill Grain to Glass, which is like a farm to table, or what Frey Ranch did with their what did they call it?
Farm strength.
Farm strength. It was like farm to bottle or grain to bottle or something. Anyway, so
farm to glass.
So grain to glass is, you were telling me before we started, the new master distiller over at Heaven Hill. This is his
That's his
passion
first baby.
project.
Yeah,
and
passion project.
It's
great
three
way to
of
put
them.
that.
We don't have the complete set.
Yep.
There's the bourbon, a rye, and a wheated. That's also a bourbon, but we don't have the wheated. So if you can help us out with that, we'd be much obliged.
Yeah. I'm super excited to get into these. When I was there Father's Day weekend, we actually were there doing the Bottled and Bond tour the Monday after Father's Day, and our tour guide, it was a walking tour, so we got the lanyard with a little. We got to walk the rick houses and see where all the magic happens, and we learned about Connor O'Driscoll and what he has brought to Heaven Hill, coming over from Ireland. And tour guide was very, very excited, but also was very, very tight-lipped. But told us that she goes, today's Monday, tomorrow's Taco Tuesday, there might be a release of some kind. But she told us that, because someone asked the question, has he had an opportunity to put his stamp on or do something that is his passion project? And she's like, actually,
which is a great question.
Yeah. And she's like, actually, great question. There is a release coming out, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. I'll just say you might find something out come Taco Tuesday. And we're all like, ha, yeah, okay, give us more than that. And anyway, we woke up the next morning and we saw the press releases, the Grain to Glass series. A straight rye whiskey, Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey, a Kentucky Straight Bourbon, and a Kentucky Straight Wheated Bourbon were in the offerings, and did not get a chance to try those, did not get a chance to even think about getting ones then. But you fast forward, I found the rye earlier this year, and then just recently I found the bourbons to add to the collection. So
we will keep our eye out for the wheat for sure.
Yeah. Well, how about you get us poured up and I'll talk a little bit.
Yeah, let's pause real quick for bottle pop.
Nice. Nice pop. And I love the topper.
Cork.
That's real cork.
Beautiful.
Nice, thick. I like it's tapered, and it's also etched Heaven Hill Distillery on the underneath side of that. I think that's really cool.
I like a thick taper.
This that we're getting into first is the Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This comes in at 107 proof.
Not bad at all.
Which is where we like it. This has a 6-year age statement on there, so it's a straight bourbon and then some.
Yeah, it did say down here, bottled in or distilled in 2017 and bottled in 2024.
Yeah. So it says here, beautifully balanced with the sweetness from the corn and the subtle spice from the rye. Connor O'Driscoll, master distiller. That's a quote from him. It says, each year, our master distiller works with Beck's hybrids to select a new corn seed varietal. That corn seed varietal is proudly displayed on the label, along with the unique mash bill that is different from our traditional bourbon whiskey mash bill. The first edition of Heaven Hill Grain to Glass Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, aged for 6 years, in Rickhouse W3 on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th floors. It was bottled without chill filtration at 107, the corn seed varietal chosen for this release. And the pamphlet I picked up at a tasting earlier this last fall, which I think the label has this on there, but I've got this in front of me. So
there actually is a teeny tiny bit of sediment in there.
Yeah.
That is...
The mash bill is 35% rye, 52% corn, and 13% malt.
Yep.
Malted barley.
Yep. So
107 proof. And
I'm expecting the classic bourbon notes. I mean, just off that mash bill, 52% corn. Yeah, it'll have a bit of a corn to it, not overpowering. So there'll be some caramel, hopefully some vanilla from the oak.
Super cool little
touch of citrus.
Little marketing brochure pamphlet. And I love the design where they've taken the bushel of wheat and kind of married it into the Glencairn shaped glass. That smells amazing.
Yeah, so on the nose, it's a wonderful super caramel.
And it's nice and smooth. It's velvety smooth.
Yeah. Yeah, you said 107 proof, and that is not, it doesn't, it doesn't bite the nose. Caramel. Oh, there's something else in there. Something like candy.
The notes say apples and pears with notes of fresh oak.
Like
so yeah, I'd say apple. Yeah, spiced, apple and pear.
Spiced like candied pears, maybe.
Yeah.
Is that?
I wouldn't argue with that.
Spiced pear. Spiced.
Vanilla. Maybe a little bit of custard. Maybe a little brown butter. Maybe.
Yeah. And anytime I cook with butter, it ends up brown before I throw anything else in there.
So I'm gonna get this on the palate.
Yeah. Let me just write down this brown butter note here that you picked up, and I say, cheers, sir.
Cheers. Man, that's delightful. That is.
When the breath comes, after you take your swallow and you kind of breathe through your mouth, that's where a little bit of that proof comes in and goes, like it does on your mouth, on your physical palate. However, it's not hitting you like your regular 107 proof would.
So on the palate, the very first thing I'm getting is a big crunchy bite out of a carameled apple. And then it immediately goes butterscotch for me.
Maybe that was that candy note I was picking up on the nose.
Wonderful.
But yeah, butterscotch for sure. Yeah, and when you get that first bite out of a caramel apple, it's so crisp. And then the kind of caramel is kind of gooey, sweet, and sticks in your teeth a little bit, but you're still crunching with the apple.
I'm going to say a little bit of almond, too.
Almond? I can see that.
Like toasted almonds?
And it's got the grassy... the grassy note from the
barley.
From the barley.
Malted barley.
I don't know about malted corn so much, but when it comes to rye that we'll get into with the rye episode, Heaven Hill Grain to Glass Rye, I like malted rye better than regular rye. There's 22 different phenai of rye grain, I guess, or more. I'm not sure, but you get totally different notes when they're dried grain versus malted grain, and you can tell the difference every single time. How about the finish? I think it finishes warm.
You know what?
Lingers too.
You know what?
Long and warm.
It is 107 proof, so it is going to Kentucky hug you a little bit. Right. But it's a nice, pleasant. It's a wool scarf.
Yeah, wool. Yeah, a little bit of scratchy, but if you condition it right, if you age it 6 years in the washing machine and the dryer with the fluffy dryer sheets, it's not going to be so bad. It's just going to hug you.
It still pops, even the second pull.
Vanilla. I think a lot of these, well, no, not caramel. I'd say butterscotch is down here on the finish. And oak on the late palate, I get a little bit of that oak. But butterscotch, for
I think
me,
it's definitely butterscotch.
It's not like some whiskeys we try and we're like, okay, it's sweet, but let's narrow that down a little bit, right? Let's not be so arbitrary with the terms here. It's sweet, and we go, is it sugar sweet? Okay, is it white sugar, brown sugar, or is it burnt sugar, demerara? Is it
caramelized?
Is it caramelized? And we just kind of go down that. Is it like marshmallow, or is it toasted, or is it burnt marshmallow? This for me, it's the sweet in here, the sugar taste in this is the butterscotch that you talked about.
We've talked about it before, and hear me out on this. Maybe I'm.
And that is on the nose.
Maybe I'm grasping a little bit here, but hear me out.
All right.
We've talked about it.
All right.
We've talked about it before, and it's the difference between a milk chocolate and a spoonful of Nestle Quick cocoa powder.
Okay.
I'm getting a cocoa powder chocolate. On the palate.
On the palate. Okay.
A tail end of the palate into a little bit of the finish. Particularly if you get it on the palate, let the nose.
That is incredible on the nose.
My score is not bad.
Yeah, actually, damn it. I was just jazzed writing down all these notes, and I totally skipped the part where I need to rate this thing.
And you said the bottom of it has the Heaven Hill. Yep. Yeah,
and you can see it right through the front of the bottle. When
everything about this is gorgeous. You've got the family since 1935, family owned since 1935. You've got
lots of information on.
You got the Heaven Hill Distillery laser etched underneath, and on top of it, it's got the HH Heaven Hill Distilling Company on top of it. And it's a little taller than a standard bottle.
Finish.
Which then makes the neck a little bit shorter, but it still has that nice little bubble out that is typical. It's just a little bit shorter up here because they've elongated the actual body of it. And I don't have my readers in front of me, so I'm going to let you look at this back label, see if there's anything of interest on there.
Yeah. I'll do. I mean, with a graphic design standpoint, I'm not a graphic designer. You are. Jennifer does that a lot. Why would you put like a light gray font on a textured cream white? Yeah, you don't need readers for that. You need a
magnifying.
You need a damn translator. I'm gonna put some more light on this here real quick.
Yeah,
that was it. You gotta have better light. Yeah. All right, so I'll read it out.
And it's not that we have bad lighting here in the studio.
We don't. We have plenty of good lighting.
We have great lighting.
It's just this. I'll hold it that way so it's not in your face. Since 1935, Heaven Hill Distillery has been dedicated to crafting the highest quality Kentucky whiskeys. This led us to start at the very beginning, the seed. Each year, our master distiller partners with fellow family-owned seed company Beck's Hybrids to hand select unique corn seed varietals that best grow in central Kentucky. That is very key. Each release is a statement to our continued commitment to quality, sustainability, and craft, and honors the multi-generational partnerships that were built on handshakes, not contracts. Man, I really love that. Being a Freemason where, your word is your bond.
Yeah.
It goes back to if a man if the man breaks his promise, if he says, first of all, take it back further. In Scouts, when I was a Scout leader, we were taught to teach and we were taught to be. When you say you're going to do something, that is a promise. And so when you grow up and you join something like Freemasons, at least on the Blue Lives local level, where you can actually get out in the community and make some change and do some good and help people. The thing is, if you can't be trusted, if your word isn't good, if you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, what good are you?
Yep.
100%. There were times when a man didn't have anything but his word.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, if he takes that away from himself, you can't trust somebody like that. So this harkens back, just going by what we read off the label, and it put me on the soapbox, kind of. It's waxing poetic. But I really love that, where you have to be able to trust people, what they say.
I also want to.
There you go.
I also want to point out too, 1935.
1935.
So Heaven Hill is post-prohibition.
Post-prohibition, and in the Great Depression. All the other distilleries that fell by the wayside, a lot of them were able to come back at some point. Some of them not for 50, 80 years after the fact. Heaven Hill, 1935, so that puts him post-prohibition, post-Great Depression, and I don't have that information in front of me now, but if I remember correctly, they are the second or third distillery with the largest rick houses full of barrels of bourbon. The largest.
Actually, they are second. They are second in the world behind Jim Beam. I knew it would come back to me. I knew there was a reason why I would have remembered that fact.
Right.
Oh yeah, they are second to
Jim Beam. I'll break the that.
But it was really cool. 'Cause, like I said, on the Bottle and Bond tour, which was super cool, we learned that, and I have not researched, so I don't know off the top of my head what actual year Connor O'Driscoll joined Heaven Hill. Maybe you can Google that while I'm talking a little bit. But she, our tour guide, she talked about them bringing in a new master distiller to head up. She also talked about, side tangent, and I don't remember her name, but there is a master taster, and I don't remember her name, but they have a master taster. She's getting up there in age. She's been with Heaven Hill for a very long time. Under contract, she is not allowed to drink anyone else's bourbon, and apparently her palate is so refined.
Tawny?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Apparently her palate is so refined, she can crack open a bottle, she can pour some in there, take a taste, and tell you not only what it is, but the year that it was bottled.
Wow.
And everything about it.
That is crazy.
But anyway, yeah, Connor O'Driscoll
joined in 2019.
2019. Okay.
Find out. So really not that long ago.
No, that's
right before COVID hit.
That's 5 years.
Yeah.
That's
and he's already
crazy.
He's already got a 6-year grain to glass bourbon. Weird. Do the math, baby. Little ice cube for you.
I'm just gonna.
Right.
We'll just roll with it.
We'll just roll with it. Roll with it.
We're going on the information that was given to us and told to us.
Yeah.
And I am not mad at the bottle, so.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It's a beautiful bottle. It's an incredible pour. If you can find any of, and I'm saying any, this is our first of the 3 we've gotten into. If the other 2, we have the rye that we're going to do. Spoiler alert, part 2.
Part 2's coming.
Is coming, and it's going to be the grain to glass rye. If it's anything that's indicative of what this bottle is, holy smokes.
And if we do find the weeded, I mean, we may end up doing the part 3 for this months down the road. We just
or if we can find it soon enough, maybe
we find it soon enough. Yeah, we can just cram it to the head of the line.
Roll it up and
But this was definitely good. Would you? All right. So we talked about the proof 107, MSRP right at 100.
Yeah.
This is fantastic neat.
It's $99 bottle.
Well, I mean, would you put this in a cocktail or just keep it for neats?
I think it would make a fantastic cocktail, but no, I love it as is too much to even think about it.
I'm there with you. I would just keep this neat.
It's 107 proof, so I have no doubt that it's going to work in a cocktail just fine.
It would sing in a cocktail.
But,
a revolver.
But it is so smooth. It is so velvety smooth.
Yeah.
That, there's no reason whatsoever.
Yeah. Grab your Jim Beam Black Label. You know, if you want to make a cocktail. Don't use this for your cocktail. Just enjoy it. Share it with friends and family. Whatever. Get anything on second nose?
Are you kidding?
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff.
Are you kidding? What did you give this on the nose, speaking of?
On the nose, I gave it 4.5 out of 5.
You know, I was afraid I was going to come in so low that you were going to give me shit for it, but I came in at 4.5 also.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair because you get any higher than that, you're getting into rare air.
Yeah.
You know, it's not undiscovered country because we've been there, but it's rare.
But
rare,
however, to that point, I like the palate so much, I bumped my score up to a perfect 5.
A perfect 5?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. All right.
How about you, sir?
I bumped it up to 475.
I ain't mad at that.
I could have gone higher, especially with all the wonderful notes that we found on the palate: caramel apple, butterscotch, almond, oak, grassy, barley, malted, rye, malted, cocoa powder. And not every bottle out there has those notes specifically.
No.
And so loud. Usually if they have
right. That's a great way to put it.
If they have that many
loud.
If they have that number of tasting notes on the palate, they're not so full. Like they're all they're not muted. They're just not turned up as much. You know, but every note on here was screaming. It was so good.
They're late on the finish. I just got actual apple peel.
Oh really? Okay. Late finish for me. I picked up on oak, apple, peel, green.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Cool.
Or a Honey Crisp. Honey Crisp is my favorite, hands down.
So I want to put Honey Crisp.
Yeah, why not? How about finish? What did you give it on the finish?
I was going to say that does bring us to finish. On finish, I gave it 475.
I stepped myself down from 5 to 475.
Okay.
So the finish is it's right there.
Yeah, it's long and warm. Kentucky hug.
I went 4.5, 5, and then settled back down to 4 3/4.
Vanilla, butterscotch, oak, apple peel, the Honey Crisp apple peel we just talked about. And we talked about bottle presentation at kind of great length.
Yeah,
I mean, you can look right through the front of the bottle.
It's a gorgeous bottle.
See the HH on there. It's even got a textured thing on the bottom. The topper and it's cool. Natural cork.
The front label is die cut, but it looks like it's a label with a secondary label over it. Yeah, it's well done. It's very absolutely well done.
Very well done. And so on all that notes, it's missing a bag. It's missing a box.
Yep.
Whatever, rate these how you want to rate them.
Yeah.
But I gave it a 4.5.
That's what I gave it.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I thought about going a little bit higher, but everything I love about this, it still gives wiggle room. There's no tube. There's no
tube. Yeah.
Thinking about the Michter's bottled my own bourbon that came with not only just the clamshell box, but it had like the memory foam cut out cradles that the bottle sat down into,
and your own signature on it.
And I got to fill out the labels and stick them.
The year, but it doesn't have the exact date when all that happened.
Yeah. So, and
I think 4.5 is fair.
And no, not mad at all at them there. It's just there's wiggle room. There's it's all right. It's an obtainable, approachable bottle.
How about final score? You gave it a 4.5 on nose, 5 on palate, 475 on finish, bottle presentation, locked it in at 4.5. What's your final score?
That brought mine to 9 3/8. 9.375.
I mean, that's not bad at all. And second nose is oats and
I don't think I talked about it, but the
summer sunshine and honey.
The tasting notes from the website and from this say nose is apples and pears with notes of fresh oak. Palate is plentiful orchard fruit with bright floral and spice notes. And finish is straight oaky sweetness with peppery spice. I
think they could have tried.
I think they undersold themselves on those tasting notes.
Yeah.
Because we got way more than that.
Yeah.
If I can find this for $100, I'll rebuy this bottle.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here.
Easily.
If I can find it. Yeah.
Easily.
These are definitely.
Well, Gomer State Line
tasty.
has a couple in their allocated room.
Well,
A couple of the bourbons and a couple of the ryes.
I've been thinking about going back to that whiskey barrel here off of Shawnee Mission Parkway and grabbing another bottle of that Heaven Hill 15 year, or not Heaven Hill, sorry, the High and Wicked 15 year.
Ooh.
That one that somebody got for Christmas. Sweet Jesus, so good, so good.
I cannot wait to do that episode.
So usually I like to leave us with a little bit of a synopsis before we wrap. Since this one isn't so obtainable, it's kind of hard for me to say something like, at roughly $100, this bottle is a definite go-getter. Grab it if you can. Mm-hmm. Really just kind of along those lines. Yeah, grab it if you can find it. And
I know there's a lot of people
in your budget. Grab it.
I know there's a lot of people on the various whiskey and bourbon groups locally that we're part of have had some of them. I've had conversations here and there in the stores with people. Actually, I went into this bottle. I ended up stumbling upon at the K7 Liquor up here on Shawnee Mission Parkway, just east of K7.
I haven't been there.
And they actually have a glass case with a sign that says one per person. It's their allocated case that they put all their special bottles in, and it's anything in that case is one per person. Their prices aren't great. They're not bad. This was $99, so it was right on par as what it should be.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was in there looking around and I saw that and I was super excited, but I also had found an opportunity to pass out some stickers and some cards, made some friends, which then opened up 15 different conversations.
That happened so fast.
And then,
so fast.
And then the one guy was like, I see you looking in the case. What are you here to get? I'm like, well, I already have the rye. I'm gonna get this bourbon. And he's like, I've had the bourbon and I've had the wheated. I have not had the rye yet. The wheated is amazing. I'm like, well, they don't have the wheated, so
yeah.
We're gonna start with the bourbon.
Yeah. So if you can help us find that wheated, we'd be greatly.
Gotta complete it. Absolutely gotta complete it.
We would greatly appreciate that. And but if not, that's fine. That's not what you're not here for our pleasure. Whatever the right words are.
Supposedly, this is going to be an annual release.
Okay.
So
that's something to look forward to then.
If that holds true and they stay on schedule, we should be able to expect this out by summertime.
Well,
and I won't be mad at that.
I will not either. Yeah. So keep an eye out for it. If you see it before we do, let us know. But if not, that's fine. At $100, 107 proof. It doesn't drink like 107 proof, not to us anyway, and we are enthusiasts, not experts. Don't get it twisted, y'all. I'm
gonna go on a limb, and I'm gonna say something that could be controversial.
Okay, all right.
This is 107 proof, and you know how much I love my Weller Antique 107.
Yeah. No.
I think this may be better than Weller Antique 107. And a little bit easier to get a hold of.
Better than this bottle.
Oh, that bottle right there.
It actually has whiskey in it.
No, there's not.
No, there's not. It's not even a drop. Well, this is wheated, though, so it's a kind of apples and oranges, but still.
It died an honorable death.
It did. It did.
Okay, to that point, so Weller is the original wheated bourbon. If the wheated bourbon Heaven Hill Grain to Glass holds to what everyone is saying, and as good as this is, if it is at least that good, if not a pinch better,
we might have ourselves a better bottle in our hands.
A side-by-side against an Antique 107 would be pretty stellar.
That would be stellar. Yeah, it's just going to take us finding another damn bottle. of Antique 107.
Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted. Yeah. If you come across this bottle and you're not afraid of the price point, roughly around $100, so that would be 99 to 109, if you will. Go ahead and grab it. Try it.
Absolutely.
Let us know what you think. Again, our emails, info for the both of us, W2 and Jonathan at savortheburn.com.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think. And once again, thank you for following on YouTube. Subscribe, click, bell notifications, share this with your fellow whiskey enthusiast friends and family. And really, I guess there's nothing left to say, but no matter who you are and where you are and what you're drinking and who you're drinking it with, never forget,
keep on burning.